Welcome to the class. The first thing that you need to do is you need to log into aplusstudents.com. Okay. Once you have logged into the website, you connect to maths because we would be studying maths today. And your grade level is grade 10s. Okay. Kindly go to your level, grade level. The topic for today is parallel and perpendicular lines. Okay. The chapter number is, I'll just give you the chapter, that is 26. The chapter number is 26, and the lesson number is lesson number 4. Okay. So the lesson is lesson number 4. The name of the topic is transversal transversals of parallel lines. Okay. And we would be find the angle measures. Okay. We would be finding the angles today, the values of the angles. Okay. So let's start off. I hope you have logged in to aplusstudents.com, math, grade 10s. The chapter number is 26, that is parallel and perpendicular lines. And then we have lesson number 4, right? So transversal of parallel lines, find the angle measures. So this is the topic. Let's start off with the topic. It's a continuation of the previous lesson. Okay. So let's see what the question is asking us, and if there are any things that need to be revised, we'll do those also. Okay. So the question number 1 says, okay, these are given and they're asking us this. I'll read the question from the beginning and then we'll look at what is being asked for. Look at the diagram. In this diagram, we have two pairs of parallel lines, right? CE and FH. We have two pairs of parallel lines and another slant line, that is BI, that is intersecting the line. We can call it BD, we can call it BG or BI. The extreme points are preferable points. Okay. So if we have these points over here, hi students, welcome to the class. Okay. So what we need to see is these two lines are parallel lines and they're saying the angle FGD is 43. Where is FGD? F, G and D is 43, right? So if they are saying this angle given is 43 degrees, right? We need to find the missing angle, and the missing angle we have is CDB. C, D and B. We need to find this missing angle. So if we can recall the property where an F is being formed. See, these were the two parallel lines. We're just trying to recall, right? Can we try to find an F in this case? Can I say that if I would consider this shape like this, and this, okay? I'm just doing a rough sketch, not the labeling. Can we say this is an invert, like we can find an F, right? It's an inverted F. That means whenever we find an inverted F, there are corresponding angles, right? So we can say that this angle and this angle, these angles are corresponding angles. Agreed? So if this was 43, if this angle was 43, then this angle should also be angle C, D, B should be equals to F, G and D. The center angle is always the angle that we are referring to, and they would be equal to, they both would be equal. This would be equal to 43, and we call these angles corresponding. Okay, they are corresponding angles and they are equal. Okay, then this angle would be 43 as well. Okay, we'll keep on revising the concepts as we move on with the question. Okay, so the next, are there any questions? Are we clear on corresponding? The first question. Okay, let's look at the next question. Okay, so the next question, let me just copy the next question on the screen for you. So the next question says, okay, this would be question number 2. And let's bring it down so that we have some space. Okay, so the question number 2 over here states that we have a pair of parallel lines, right? So we can always highlight the parallel lines. These two lines are parallel to each other. OQ and RT are parallel to each other. What they are telling us is RSU. Where is R? R, S, and U. This given angle is 61 degrees. Okay. And what we need to find is TSU. Where is T? S and U? TSU is this angle, right? We need to find this given angle. We know that whenever a line is broken down into two angles, right? We can say something like this. This was the first angle, that is 61. And this was the second angle which we had to find. And we know that the line is always made up of 180 degrees, right? So the sum of these two angles should be, if we suppose TSU as X, right? So we can say this is X. So can we say 61 degrees plus X degrees should be equals to 180? And X would come out to be 180 minus 60 is 120 minus 1. That means we put a degree sign, then X comes out to be 119 degrees, which was equals to TSU. Okay. And the angles where the sum of the angles is 180, right? These angles are known as supplementary angles. Okay. Where the sum of angles is, angles would always be equals to 180 degrees. Okay, so now we have looked at two possibilities over here. The first one was corresponding angles, and the second one is a supplementary angle. Okay, any questions? Okay, let's move on to the next question. Welcome everyone, for those who joined a little late. Okay, we look at question number 3. And the question number 3 states that, just a minute, please. Okay, I will copy the question on the screen so that we have the diagram and the reference point. Okay, so the next question says, we look at the diagram and we need to find something. Okay, this is the given information to us. Okay. In this given diagram, we know that we have a pair of parallel lines, okay, which is given over here. NP and QS are parallel. QRO, let's look for QRO. QR and O, this angle is given to us. That is 123, okay. What we need to find is, let's mark the missing angle, SRT. Where is SRT? We need to find this angle, right? So we need to remember something whenever a formation of X is there, and X is forming, right? Any shape an X, right? It could be at any angle. So we say that this angle would always be equal to this angle, and the sideways angle, this angle is always equals to this angle, right? If I say this was X, then this would be X. If I say this was Y, and this would be Y. These angles are known as vertically opposite angles. Okay. The name of these angles are vertically opposite angles. And we can still see the same thing over here. That this angle that was 123 must be equal to this angle. This should be 123. So what we can say is, since the angle QRO is vertically opposite to SRT, they should both be 123 degrees. Do we agree on this? So we call them vertically opposite angles. What we need to remember is, wherever there is a formation of X, the opposite angles would always be equal. Agreed? Any questions? Okay, good. So moving ahead, let's look at the next question. So the next question we have is, okay, I'll just copy the next question on the screen so that we can make changes to it. Okay, great. So for the next question we have is this, and we can say this is the given diagram to us. Let's move it over here to the bottom so that we can use this. Okay. So this is question number 4. In question number 4, what they're telling us is we have a pair of parallel lines, right? So these are the pairs of parallel lines. Let's highlight the parallel lines because the parallel lines will define to us what kind of angle is there. Okay. So EG and HJ were parallel. The second part of the question says HIF, HIF, this angle, this is 66 degrees, right? What is GFI? Let's see, where is GFI? This is G, F, and I. So we need to find this angle, right? This is the missing angle. So what we can say is they are vertically, or sorry, they are, they are interior angles, right? But they are alternate interior angles to each other. Okay, because they are on either sides of the parallel line. So what we can say is, if we have a pair of parallel lines, okay, I'm just doing a rough sketch, just focusing on what the question is asking us, right? We have a line over here, and if this interior angle is given to us, then this interior angle would also be same, right? So we call these types of angles as alternate, ALTER, alternate, and they are interior, right, angles. These two angles are alternate. If this would be X degrees, then this would be X degrees, okay? They both would be the same, and we call them alternate interior angles. So can we say the angle HIF was 66 degrees, which was equals to the angle GFI? We usually make a caps on the middle angle, right? So they both are alternate interior angles. So they measure the same. They both have the same measure. Therefore, this angle would also be 66 degrees. This angle and this angle would be same. Okay, let's move on to the next. Any questions up till now? Please do ask the questions if there is any confusion so that we can revise that before moving ahead. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next question. The question number 5 we have is they are asking us about a different pair of parallel lines. Let's see what are the requirements. So in the next question, what we have is this question number 5, and they are saying in question number 5, look at the diagram, and what we can see is if this is given as this, I'll just write it down over here so that it's much more visible. We can find the two parallel lines, right? The two parallel lines are given to us. That is NP and QS. Let's highlight the parallel lines. QS and NP are the two parallel lines. If the lines have an arrow at the end of them, right? If a two pair of lines, that also represents what? That those two lines are parallel lines. The given information that we have in this question is they've given us an angle POR. Where is POR? P, O, and R. This angle is given to us. Okay. And they're telling us this angle is 66 degrees. Let's see what is NOR. Where is N? NOR. We need to find this angle, right? And we did an example previously where if a line is there and the line is divided into two angles, right? If this is 66 and the total angle was 180, right? Then what should be the value of x? So we can say that the angle POR plus NOR should be equals to 180 degrees because they are forming a straight line. And whenever the angles form a straight line or the angles which have a sum equal to 180 degrees, the angles sum up to add up to 180, those angles are known as, yes, supplementary angles. Okay, those angles are known as supplementary angles which add up to 180 degrees, or they're equal to 180 degrees, right? So can we find what was the angle POR? POR was 66 plus NOR, that is the unknown, and we say it equals to 180. So finding x would mean, because we are considering NOR to be equals to x, then x would come out to be 180 minus 66. And what is 180 minus 66? The easiest way is 180 minus 60 is 120. And 120 minus 6 is 114. So we can say this angle comes out to be 114 degrees. Okay, which are supplementary angles because the sum of the two angles is 180. Do we agree? Thank you. Can we move ahead, or any queries, any questions up till now? Okay, good. Let's look at the next question we have. We have question number 6. And the question number, just a minute, please. Let me just copy the next question. Okay, the next question we have is, it says, look at the diagram and the angles are given. Just a minute, please. Okay, so this is the question that is given to us. I'll just move it a little down at the bottom so that we have more space. This was question number 6. Okay. If TV and WY are parallel lines, it's better. We already know these are parallel lines. I just highlight them so that it's much more visible to us, right? Okay. So what they are saying is WXZ, W X, sorry, W X and Z over here. This angle is 116 degrees. Okay. Because WXZ is this angle. And what are they asking us to find? They're asking us to find Y, X, and Z. Oh, we did a similar question previously. So what are these two angles? Angles formed on a straight line would always be equal to, yes, these two angles are supplementary, right? Supplementary angles. And supplementary angle means the sum of the angles is always 180 degrees. So can we say that WXZ, the first angle that was 116 degrees, plus YXZ, right, should be equal to 180. So we write YXZ should be equals to 180. In order to find YXZ, all we need to do is 180 minus 116, and it should come out to be, can anyone answer? 180 minus 110, you're left with 70, right? And 70 minus the remaining is 64. So we know that now this angle would be 64 because the sum of these two angles should be 180, because these two angles are supplementary angles. They are being formed on a straight line. So whenever the angles are being formed on a straight line, the sum would be 180. Agreed? Okay. Any questions up till now? We did 2 consecutive examples for supplementary, right? I hope it's clear now. Moving ahead to the next question, question number 7. Let me just copy this question on the screen so that we have a better understanding what they're asking. Okay. In question number 7, what they are saying is, I'll just paste it over here. And this was the question. I'll just rearrange this. Okay. So this is question number 7. And what they're asking us is, they are telling us we have 2 pairs of parallel lines. Okay, let's highlight these lines. The first line, the first parallel line, and this would be the second line, right? So these are the 2 parallel lines that we have. Parallel lines would never intersect anywhere, right? Parallel means no point of intersection. An example of parallel lines would be 2 wheels of the car, right? The right side wheels would never intersect. Even if you're turning the car, the right wheels of the car would never cross the wheels of the left side. Or same way, if you're going in a subway, the tracks of the subway are parallel lines, right? Okay. Moving with the question, what they're saying is the angle KJG. Where is K? This is K, this is J, and this is G, right? So this angle given to us, that is 59, okay? This angle is given to us as 59. In the second part of the question, what do we need to find? HGE. So we need to find HGE. Let's see where HGE is. H, G, and E. We need to find this angle, right? So if we need to find this angle, can I highlight something? If I would say, sorry, this line and this line. Can we say this is an inverted F being formed, or two parallel lines are being they are being intersected by a slant line, and we need to find the same angle, right, on the same position, right? Or we can say we can see an F is being formed over here, inverted F, right? Something like this. Sorry. So this shape is something like this. This angle and this angle would always be equal if these are the two pairs of parallel lines. And what are these angles known as? Can anyone help me out? We did a similar question previously. Then this would be 59 as well. So we can say KJG is equals to HGE. They both angles are equal. That means they are 59. Can anyone give me the reason for this? Whenever we have a formation of F, those two angles are known as, we did this over here, right? We did this in question number 1 already. So whenever we have a formation of F, those two angles would be corresponding angles, right? These two angles are corresponding to each other. So we simply write the statement. We define that these angles are corresponding angles. Okay. Moving ahead with the next question. If there is any question, please do not be shy to ask. I'll try my level best to explain. But if we move on to the next question and you still have a confusion, then it would be a problem, right? Because we would be continuing with the next question. Any questions up till now? I'll wait. You have a chat box. Please write it over there. If there is any confusion, I'll do that first. Okay. Thank you so much for replying. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. If this question says that there are a pair of parallel lines, this would be question number 8. Okay, a pair of parallel lines. Let's look what two pairs of parallel lines do we have? We have PR and SU, right? So we can say SU and PR are a pair of parallel lines. Agreed? Okay, we did this part over here. What they are saying is MPT, whereas PQT, sorry, apologies for that. PQ and T, this angle is 64. Okay. What we need to find is UTQ, whereas UT and Q, we need to find this angle. Okay. So what we need to remember is whenever we have a formation of Z, okay, let's look at this. We can say these are the pairs of two parallel lines, right? And if we have a formation of Z, Z could be like this, right? Then these two angles are always same because they are on the same diagonal line which is intersecting two parallel lines, right? So what we say is these two angles are alternate. Are they exterior or interior? Because they are on the inside, they are known as interior angles. Okay, so we can call them alternate interior angles. Okay, but we still did not find the angle, right? So what should be the value for this angle? U, T, and Q. Since these two angles were equal in size, so if this angle is 64, then this should be 64 as well. Okay, they both are equal. Okay, is alternate interior angles clear? Okay. Moving ahead to the next question. Let's see what is the given question. Just a minute, please. I'll just need a few seconds to copy the question. Okay, I'm back with the question. Let's try this. Okay, we have this. This is question number 9. And what they're asking us to do is solve this part. Okay. So what they are telling us is we have a pair of parallel lines, RT and OQ. Agreed? RT and OQ and RT are parallel lines, which are given over here. And the angles are RSP. RS and P. This angle is given, that is 118 degrees. Okay. Which other angle is given to us? Which other angle is, angle do we need to find? Sorry, what we need to find? OPN, right? Where is OPNN? We need to find this angle. So can we say that, can we see a formation of an alphabet that is F, not a Z? Can we say we are forming an F over here? I just highlighted it with the red color. It's an inverted F, right? Then if this angle is 118, then this angle should always be 118. And what is the name given to these two angles? We know that whenever we have a F formation, that means those two angles are, before doing that, we write RSP is equals to OPN, and they both were 118 degrees, and they were known as corresponding angles, right? Because we have a formation of the alphabet Z. Oh, sorry, alphabet F over here. Z is alternate interior, F is corresponding. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. The next question we have is, we will do few questions from the test. Don't worry, and the remaining you will have to do, right? Let's later on we'll see how many are there. We'll try to do the maximum number of questions that we can attempt. But before that, I would wish to do as much of these questions as possible so that we have a better understanding of the topic, okay? So question number 10 says, we have a pair of parallel lines, that is RT and OQ, okay? I just labeled it over here, RT and OQ. What they are asking us, what they are telling us is, the given information that we have is QPS. Where is Q? Q, P, and S. This angle given is 135. Yeah, it looks like an obtuse, right? So this angle given is 135. What do we need to find? We need to find OPN, right? So we need to find OPNN. So let's suppose if we take out this part of the question only, okay? If we copy this and we paste it over here, can I, if I remove these labelings just for our convenience, can we say we see a formation of an X? I just copied it from the diagram, right? So can we see a formation of X? Whenever we have a formation of X, we say these two angles will be equal in size, right? Can anyone tell me what are the names of these two angles which are equal in size? Because it's forming an X, right? So we call them, can I give the answer? They are known as vertically opposite angles, okay? So these two angles are known as vertically opposite angles, okay? So, but still now we need to find the value. So can we say that if this was 135, then this should be 135? So we need to give the statement QPS. This angle was equals to OPN, and they both were equal to 135 degrees. Okay, we need to give the answer. We need to identify the answer. Okay, great. Moving ahead, can we do, okay. Okay, I think this would be, this is vertical. Okay. Okay, that was the last question. Let's go to the test. Okay. Let's try the test. Some questions from the test so that we would know whether we understood or not. I'll go with the question number 1. I'll paste it on the screen and I would want you people to help me out. Okay. So the first question we have is, the question will have 2 options next to it, right? So I would want you to pick the correct option, if it's option A or if it's option B. So I would put down the first question. This is question number 1 from the test. And the 2 options we have are 43 and 24. This is option number A. This is option number B. Can we have the answer? I'll just highlight the parallel lines for you. Okay, these are the parallel lines. Then this is a parallel line to this line. Can anyone answer? We're doing this together. Don't worry. If you do not understand anything, I'm here to help you out with that. Okay. So let's do this together. The question number 1 from the test, it says there are a pair of parallel lines, CE and FH. An angle is given to us, that is 43. So if FGD, I'm doing it very slow because I'm waiting for you to answer option A or option B, right? Whereas F, G, and D, this angle was given as 43, right? What we need to find is CDB. C, we need to find this angle. And we know that whenever we have a formation of the alphabet F, something like this, right? Then these 2 angles should be, I'm repeating the question, I'm waiting for you to answer. Whenever we have a formation of F, the angles are known as corresponding angles. Agreed? And what should be the value of these 2 angles? If this is 43, then this should be, yes, they both should be same. So this would also be 43. Thank you. And we need to click on the correct option. We need to look at the both options and we say that option A is the correct answer, right? Because since this is an MCQ, we have to be careful while selecting the options. Okay, maybe we might make an error. Just we can have the correct answer, but we might end up selecting the incorrect option. So please be careful while selecting the options. Okay, so moving on to the next question, question number 2 from the test. Just a minute, please. Let me just copy. Okay. So this is the question number 2. And we would say this is option number 1. Sorry, I'll just remove this. We say this is option number A, and we say this is option number B. Okay, let's see which option is the correct answer. Which option has the correct answer? I'm doing it too slow so that you would be able to do it yourself. I'm just here to assist you for this. for the test. I want you to answer and let's see what you learned during the lesson. If we have QR and RT, right? We have a pair of parallel lines. I'm doing it gradually so that you are always ahead of me. Then RSP, R, S, and P. This angle, if this is 118, then the angle OPN, OPN should be, what should it be? Can anyone give me the answer? I'm waiting. See, we can see these two angles are, just a minute, I'll just highlight them. They are forming a shape that an alphabet that we can say it's an F, right? And whenever we have a formation of F, we say the angles are corresponding angles. And corresponding angles are always, yes, great. Thank you for answering. They both are always equal, right? That means option B is the correct answer. And they are corresponding angles. Thank you. Let's try another question. Question number 3. I'll just copy this. Okay. I think very less questions. Oh, only 10 questions are there. Okay. Which would be very easy to do. The maximum number we can do right now, we'll do it together. For those we are not able to do, please do complete it at home. Okay. Okay. So let's say this is option, I'll just make an option A and option B. Okay. I'll just move it on the side so that we have working space. Question number 3. Okay. Look at the diagram. Let's find the pair of parallel lines. We can say we have these parallel lines over here. This line is parallel to this line. Agreed? Now what else? The information that is given to us is that PQT is 64. Where is PQT? This is P, this is point Q, and this is point T. That means this angle is 64. Okay. What we need to find is UTQ. Where is U, T, and Q? Okay. So these two angles should be equal to what are these angles known as? Whenever we have a formation of the alphabet Z, right? Let's try to remember. This is, and this, right? But these two lines were parallel. The formation of the alphabet Z has to be on the two set of parallel lines, right? So these angles are known as, can anyone tell me what these angles are known as? Yes, they are known as alternate interior, because they are interior angles. And since they are alternate interior angles and it's a formation of Z, then they must be same, right? And that is option number B. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. Okay. So we can always say that since these two angles were alternate to each other, right? We can see the formation of the alphabet Z. In this case, we can see, in the previous case, we see the alphabet F, right? F refers to corresponding angles. Over here, the alphabet is Z, right? So it would refer to alternate interior angles, right? So we have some hints through which we can find the shapes, right? We can find the name of the angles, we can find the angles, right? So I think we are done with 3 questions, 7 are left. Kindly complete these questions, okay, so that you can revise. If there is any problem, just go through the lesson, and best of luck. Have a nice day. Take care. Okay.